Hey Devarshi, how are you?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm very well, and thank you so much for taking this opportunity and hopping on board to show people how is life after NLP.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to share with the world how life-changing NLP world has been.
Thank you so much. Thank you and welcome. And I know that the reason why we started this series was to share with everybody how can life be completely transformed after NLP. But we'll have to go back in time and start from the very beginning. So my first question really to you today is, how did you get onto this journey, which is NLP? What triggered you to really take the NLP practitioner training with us?
So I always wanted to work on myself. I just didn't know how, and I was finding for a way. So it says when student is ready, the teacher appears. And so did you with your triggers to transformation training. And that was life-changing. It solved a lot of my problems, and I felt that you understand me. So you made me feel that, um, how do I say? It's very emotional. So you made me feel connected. I felt cared for, and somewhere I felt that you could help me. So I became your one-on-one client, like a train that I wanted to board. I took the train and took one NLP and timeline therapy sessions with you, and I didn't see back. I hopped on the NLP and timeline therapy practitioner course and then masters, and the journey is still on, and I'm so grateful and I'm so enjoying it.
You've seen it all from being my one-on-one client all the way to NLP practitioner and then master practitioner. So you've had a beautifully long journey, and all of this happened in a span of 1 year, right? But we want to go back to just the practitioner certification for a moment. The 5 days that you spent with us doing NLP and timeline therapy. How was that experience for you?
I would say I got tools for life. In short, before NLP, I thought that if you have problems, you go to a counselor and they help you out. And then if you have another problem, you have to go to a counselor again. But doing NLP and timeline therapy practitioner course, you get the tools to work on yourself. So if you face issues in your life, if you're stuck, if you're triggered, you have tools to work on yourself. And the bonus point is that um, using those tools, I was able to help my family and friends as well. So that's a bonus.
That's a bonus, isn't it? And you pointed it spot on that you get tools for life. Like I always explain this, right? NLP is like that key that you have, and you can literally open many unlocked doors with just combinations of tools and strategies because you've got them in your toolkit. It's like anxiety, boom, we've got it. Phobia, boom, we've got it. Major negative emotions, boom, we've got it. Decision making, clarity, we've got it. So we've got so many different tools that we can apply in combination. So you said it just in like one line. Yes, we get tools for life. Now, the other thing that I really want to ask everybody is, how was your experience in terms of being taken care of by the team and with me as well after the training as well?
I'm known for elaboration, but this is a change after NLP. In one short line, um, you're being well taken care of. That's what I can say. I felt well taken care of. Um, and I was looked after. So going from the course to questions, it felt like you know me personally, you're addressing me while in the group of so many people at that time. I think it was a batch of 14, 15, and I think everyone can say that it felt personal care. All our questions were answered. None, and you keep your promises. You promise to answer every question of ours, and you answer all the questions. And I would be honest, Ankita is a little bit strict as well, but I see love in that strictness, that She makes us she makes us accountable. She makes sure that we learn what she wants to teach. Um,
Absolutely. I make sure of that.
she makes sure, and I love that. And even during the sessions, even after the course, we are in touch. There are master classes which further enhances our knowledge. And basically, after you do a course, most of the online courses that you do it, and then you take whatever you can, and then you forget it. Um, but Ankita has a wonderful way of bringing people back to the practices. So she makes sure that she plans master classes, sessions, Q&A sessions, even in the group. If we ask her, if I ask you, sorry, that any questions, you are there and you're quick. And I still wonder how quickly, how can you respond so quickly? So
Yeah, people think
thank
I'm
you for
all over, like I'm literally sitting on social media all the time, but that's not true. I'm always there on social media for all my clients, all my students, all the people that I love, but I'm not always on social media, which is really funny. But that's a question to be answered some other time. How do I get to everybody's messages so quickly? But 110%. Thank you for sharing that. That gives me a lot of joy because anytime a student hops in, I want to make sure that they are looked after. That's the biggest thing for me because I know that you put when you come into a practitioner training, you're putting your trust into me and the practices that we follow here. So that was really great to hear. And what I want to know is, Devashri, were there any particular specific experiences that you came across during those 5 days, which you still keep in your hands, and you know, this is the learning that I've got from them, and that's the change that I have received? Anything that came up for you during that time, which you knew, oh my gosh, I was doing X in my current life. This is the behavior that I have because of that experience that I had in the past, which came through timeline therapy or during the parts integration process for you.
I have so many incidences to share. So I'm taking time to choose which one do I share. So during timeline therapy, one big episode that came to me was um, I was in a hole all my life, and I just didn't know that there is a world, shiny golden world outside of that hole. And it was life changing. I came out of that hole and I can see the entire world. So that's the experience that I keep with me. Another one was traveling back in the generation with my grandfather, um, having the experience being in the womb with my mother and what she felt at the time of pregnancy, and how I was carrying that with me. And that is something that got released. And the magical part of it is it's not just me who released it. I saw that change in my mother as well. Um, to share something very specific is that me and my mother had the same trigger to get really affected by someone's tone of voice, like a sarcasm. If someone is sarcastic in that particular tone, um, oh boy, we would take it personally. We would blame ourselves and think all bad things about ourselves. And I think if I wouldn't have gone through timeline therapy, I think I would have spent all my life proving to that person that I'm right, earning the love and good behavior of that person. I would have worked all my life, and so would my mom. And after a couple of months of this timeline therapy, I was just talking to my mom, and in the background, someone who I know spoke in the same tone, and I know my mother gets triggered with that. Not only I was not triggered by that voice anymore. And I was aware, I knew that. But my mother, it didn't make any difference to her. And that was like, wow, boom. She took it like it's just like a gust of wind just going by. Um, while in the past, my mother would have started crying, it would have
Affected
got
her
her migraines. It was that deep that if somebody says something to her, especially that particular person, she would get migraines, and
oh
for a lot of days she would be in the pain
in that state. And I
in that
just shared
way.
this today in the session that when you do this work, it's not just you that changes. Your past generations release it, your future generations benefit from it. And you are giving exactly the example of that, that when you did the work, your mother also kind of had that experience. She doesn't know it physically because she did not sit down and do the work, but you did the work and that created a ripple effect. So congratulations, Devashri. That was big.
This
That
was
was
big,
big.
and I'm really grateful that I've seen a lot of pain growing up, and I still see that in my mother. And that was my biggest pain, to see my mother in pain, and seeing her getting a release or getting free from that pain, how amazing that is. You can see her happy. Um, and that's the greatest gift I take.
Oh wow, I love that her also releasing all that was inside of her via you and her living that released and free life. That's the greatest gift. And I think I have a very similar story as well, Devashri. Like I've changed so much in me, and I can see the impacts of that in my mother. And I can tell you, my mother has no idea about it. If she hears this, she'll be calling me straight up and be like, "What the hell did you do?" But she doesn't know that so much has changed, and she's also a different person. And I see that impact. My relationship with my brother has changed so much. And the way I see my dad's changed so much. So it creates that ripple effect in the entire family, which we are unaware of at the moment when we're doing the work, but we can see it as we change, the people around us change, and that's fantastic. So thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. I love that.
It,
And sorry, what were you saying?
I was just excited and said it is amazing.
It is definitely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So I know that was a couple of incidents that happened, and you did realize them while you were in that 5-day training, right? And I know that as you go further ahead, you start to see the impact and the ripple effect in other areas of your life. Like you do come to work on yourself, but you start to see like so much in your health. You start to see so much in your career. You start to see so much in your relationship. So in all other areas of life, how did NLP help you to gain that clarity in other areas of life?
So a big one is a process that we go through is parts integration. Um, I would say I've been stuck in a lot of confusions where you have, two minds, go this way or go that way, and all your energy, time um, goes into which path do I take? Because taking one path would feel like, okay, the other path would have been better. Taking the other path feels like I've left something behind. So, parts integration is the big tool. For a lot of years, I was confused whether I want to get really married or not. A part of me wanted to really badly, a part of me didn't want to. Um, and parts integration was like the key to that lock. I wasn't able to move ahead in my journey finding a partner because I was confused. I didn't know, I wasn't aware of that at that time. But parts integration, which is an NLP tool, it took 20 to 30 minutes, I remember, for me to get that clear decision that what I want.
What do you
And
want?
marriage is the decision that I made at that time. That was big.
That
So
was big. Yeah.
out
I
of the
remember.
confusion.
Yeah, I remember that one when you were in the training, and we came across that, and it was such a big thing because for your body to understand why you need it and why you want it and why such a big positive intention is backing it up. So I think that was really, really good. And I remember seeing that. So thank you for sharing that one as well. So that was big for your relationships as well.
Yes. Is it okay if I share one more tool, which is
Yes.
magical and so simple? Is modalities, some modalities. I have changed a lot of voices within me. Um, Nasty voices to funny voices. I've changed the pictures. Um, so turning something which I was really afraid of to something that doesn't bother me, and even I was excited for it. Um, I helped a friend who was afraid of heights to in this was like we were traveling in a car and it was just 2 or 3 minutes max. Um, he was afraid to look down from the buildings, and when from the car when we returned home, um, I was living at 33rd floor at the time. He went to the gallery and looked down very confidently, and she said, "I owe you." And that was big, that was magical. And every time next my friend came to home, he would sit in the gallery and look down, which I could see he was so afraid and shivering at that time to see through the heights. So yeah, I'm able, it makes me happy, I'm able to help someone else as well.
Doesn't it empowers you so much that you're able to help somebody get over that phobia in like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, just by conversation?
And it is so simple, it's not like complicated stuff that
No,
you have to like have books all the time. It
no.
was so easy. It
And I
was so
think
easy.
the reason why I say, and I'm going to say it out loud, that learn NLP from me because I'm not just going to give you the tool. I'm going to explain you how to use it and what's behind it. So you understand the logic and not just the script, like handing over you that booklet and say, go do it yourself. No, I want you to understand the nitty-gritties of how this works. So you can use it conversationally in 2 to 3 minutes and understand the script in a way that your mind understands it. So good on you. I'm so glad that you've actually used it conversationally because it's a possibility and you can use it in 2 3 minutes talking to somebody and you can reframe what's there in your mind and in their mind and you can shift it. So good job on that. I'm feeling very proud right now that you did that with somebody. That's amazing. That's really, really good, Devashri. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's that's amazing. Like, is this like one big change that you can say, okay, this one is the biggest change that I've had after NLP?
I started trusting myself more, I would
Wow.
say. Um, that is a big change. And I trust my intuition more than outer, external voices more, which has been big, which is something that I was struggling with. Um, and now I see that unfolding. I'm using my intuitive power has um, increased tremendously. And in just in conversations, this is just a day-to-day life. I would say things to people and it would click people and I could see their expressions. It's like, oh, I didn't realize this. Thank you. Thank you for this tip, or thank you for telling me this story, or thank you. And I'm I'm surprised at that moment as to what did I say, but whatever I said, um,
Worked
it it hit that person in the right place.
in the right place. Absolutely. So in the end, I know of course that you and your brother both are on this journey and your brother's been my client as well. And I understand that the journey together has been quite amazing. Do you want to like share like one line about that before we close the interview itself?
Yes, of course. One line. Through this work, people who are really meant to be in your life and you have close bonds with will get on the journey with you, either by doing this work or in some other way. Um, and I'm so glad that my brother has gone through amazing transformations through one-on-ones of NLP and timeline therapy with you.
Yes, and I see both of you as such a powerhouse, like in a family, if and I always say if siblings do the work, if partners do the work, it is so expansive. Like it's a generational change, and we always talk about generational change. It is really a generational change when partners or siblings do the work together. In fact, if a parent and child would do, I said it will be great, but I think a lot of parents wouldn't get on the bandwagon when you're doing the work. I mean, they will have their own separate journey, not to say that parents don't do it, but they have their own separate journey. But doing it together is so much fun. You can discuss so much, like you were sharing with me the other day. And there's so much openness in relationships, right? So, Devarshi, in the end, the question that I always ask is, would you recommend NLP practitioner certification with us to the world?
100%, 100% go for it. It's Yeah, there is nothing to lose and everything to gain. And definitely recommend it. It has been more than I think it has been a year, I would say. And I still remember, yes, it's like a pill that just conjures itself when you're facing some difficulty. Something that Ankita would have said, or some tool will just magically come up, and that will help me in that situation. So that is great. You take the learnings with you on lifetime, and now I can say generations as well.
Oh my gosh, that last line really hit me. You can keep it to yourself, the learning, and share with generations as well. So thank you so much for that, David Shri. Thank you for coming along. And I really truly am thankful that you took your time to come out here and speak to us.
Thank you, Ankita, for having me. Happy to share.
Thank you.